Here are the top news from the United States in the last 24 hours. First news is from Washington, where House Republicans have released a last-minute health care proposal that could significantly affect insurance costs for millions of Americans. According to the plan, Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies would not be extended, a move analysts say may raise premiums for many middle-class families. The proposal comes amid internal Republican disagreements and broader budget negotiations in Congress, as lawmakers struggle to balance health care spending with other domestic priorities. Second news is from Capitol Hill, where House Democrats have released new photographs from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, reigniting political controversy. The images reportedly show several high-profile figures, including former President Donald Trump and former President Bill Clinton. The White House responded by dismissing the release as politically motivated, calling it a Democrat hoax, while Democrats argue the public deserves transparency regarding Epstein's network and past associations. Third news is from Europe, where U.S. officials are preparing for high-level ceasefire talks involving Ukraine and European allies ahead of a major diplomatic summit. American envoys are expected to discuss a controversial proposal that includes economic and security arrangements in eastern Ukraine. Ukrainian leaders have acknowledged the talks, but stressed that sovereignty and territorial integrity remain non-negotiable. The outcome of these discussions could shape future U.S. military aid and diplomatic strategy. Fourth news is from Congress, where lawmakers have introduced a resolution to challenge President Trump's 50% tariffs on imports from India. The bipartisan move reflects growing concern that the tariffs may increase costs for American consumers and strain international trade relationships. Supporters of the resolution argue that long-term economic damage could outweigh any short-term trade leverage. Fifth news is from the Federal Reserve, which recently cut interest rates by 25 basis points, signaling caution about economic momentum. While some policymakers supported the cut to encourage growth, others dissented, warning that inflation pressures remain elevated. Markets responded cautiously, with investors weighing the possibility of slower growth against the risk of persistent price increases. Sixth news is from Wall Street, where U.S. markets showed mixed signals ahead of the next trading session. Stocks tied to technology and crypto exposure, including Coinbase, saw notable after-hours activity. Analysts say volatility is being driven by interest rate expectations, global trade uncertainty, and corporate earnings outlooks as the year draws to a close. Seventh news is from the Pentagon, where Boeing has delayed delivery of the new Air Force One aircraft once again. The jets are now expected to be ready around mid-2028, years behind the original schedule. The delay highlights ongoing issues with cost overruns and supply chain disruptions, raising questions about whether the new aircraft will be ready during the next presidential term. Eighth news is from the Middle East, where reports indicate U.S. Special Forces conducted a maritime operation involving a vessel bound for Iran. While officials have released limited details, the operation is believed to be linked to enforcement of sanctions and the prevention of weapons transfers. The incident underscores ongoing U.S. efforts to restrict Iran's access to military equipment. Ninth news is from across the country, where millions of Americans are under winter weather alerts. Meteorologists warn of heavy snow, strong winds, and dangerous travel conditions across parts of the Midwest, Northern Plains, and Northeast. Transportation authorities are urging travelers to monitor conditions closely as storm systems continue to move eastward. Tenth news is from Washington, D.C., where legal proceedings continue in the National Guard shooting case. The suspect appeared in court this week as judges reviewed security and media access for upcoming hearings. The case has renewed debate over military deployments, public safety, and the boundaries between federal and local law enforcement. 11th news is from the Department of Homeland Security, where the administration has paused immigration applications from 19 countries previously affected by travel restrictions. The decision has drawn criticism from advocacy groups, who argue it disrupts refugee processing and family reunification efforts. Officials say the pause is part of a broader review of immigration and national security policies. And those are the major developments from the United States in the last 24 hours. Follow us and make sure to like us and act to support us.